Hello, marry me. So I want to discuss the topic of basically some, especially Wiccans, that doesn't separate between the word witch and the word Wiccan. Now, I have made videos about this before, and the reason why I'm addressing it again is that I saw this documentary, an interview with Raymond Buckland, who is one of the really big people within Wicca. And he's, don't get me wrong, I admire the man. He has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. But one thing that he tends to say in his interviews annoys the hell out of me. That is that basically he doesn't see a separation between witch and Wiccan, and that, which is actually correct, that Garrett Gardner didn't use it a lot. It's very few in Gardner's original writings that he separates it. He calls it witchcraft. Now, in and of itself, I don't really see a problem with somebody deciding, well, it's all witchcraft, and not putting it into categories. That's fine. The problem is when they do like Buckland then said, that no, then we just need to determine what witchcraft is. And for example, that somebody who is just into the magic and not into the religious aspects is not a witch, they are a magician. No. Witchcraft is not basically just what is determined by Wicca. That is the problem. It's not so much if somebody don't want to put witchcraft into categories and just see, well, here we have witchcraft, and it's just lots of different kinds of witchcraft, and they don't want to say, oh, well, we have this kind of witchcraft and that kind of witchcraft. The problem arises when you have basically people that want to limit the term witchcraft to modern Wicca, or at least modern neo-pagan witchcraft, meaning religious witchcraft based around Gardner's system or systems inspired by it. And that is completely wrong, because there are so many systems of witchcraft that has used the term witchcraft for far longer than you have had Wicca. You have various systems in Spain and in Mexico. You have Strega in Italy. You have a lot of folk magic traditions. You have a tradition that, embarrassingly enough, I can't remember the name of right off the bat in Russia. There's so many different systems that are called witchcraft that has nothing to do with Gardner's system and that are not religious in nature. And it's just as valid for somebody to become a witch and call themselves a witch that do not have a religious view of it. Now, for me, I do have a religious view of witchcraft, or basically the witchcraft I practice, when I'm using that paradigm. But then again, I'm a chaot, so I tend to change my views, including my religious views, depending on what system I'm working with. And I do like to work with the typical Wiccan system. And I believe that the problem with, and I mean, in this documentary, he said it straight out, Raymond Buckland, that no, it isn't witchcraft if you are not religious. It's basically a cooing of the witchcraft term. It's basically, no, we are not going to separate between Wicca and witchcraft, but we are just going to grab the entire term and say, no, this is the only thing that witchcraft means. It's us. It's us. We are the only ones that have the right to use the term witchcraft, and I couldn't disagree more. But this is generally the problem we have with a lot of Wiccans, and it's basically why it's so important to separate the two. Because by separating the two, you can say basically this is the religion of Wicca. It has a dogma, it has a religious focus, it is a religion. It is a religion that has magic as part of it. Most religions actually have magic as part of it. While witchcraft itself is naturalistic magic. And when they just coo it, that irritates me. And when there's somebody who is basically so well respected as Raymond Buckland doing that, that sort of give it, it makes it more valid, and then you have that argument going forever, because that's really the problem. The problem in and of itself isn't that somebody says, no, I don't want to use the term Wiccan, I just want to say I'm a witch, this is the kind of witch I am. That's completely fine. The problem is when I say, no, but this is what witchcraft is. Basically, here you have Wicca, that's what witchcraft is. Anything else is not witchcraft. That's when you have the problem. Because then you have snotty little idiots that say, oh no, but the threefold law. And somebody say, yeah, but I don't believe in the threefold law. In my belief system, there are no threefold law. I don't believe in the way you define karma and use it. It is not part of my religious belief. And then someone, no, but this is all witchcraft is. You are not a witch because this is all witchcraft is. And then we have a problem. Because the last thing we really need in the neo-pagan and witchcraft community is to be intolerant of one another. We experience enough intolerance from other sources than to basically behave that way with one another. So yeah, I guess that's really very much what this video is about. It's a bit of a sigh of frustration over Raymond Buckland's definitions of this, basically, that only Wicca and Wiccanish paths like his own, isn't it Sussex? He calls his path. Basically, that's the only kinds of witchcraft there is. That if somebody, for example, is a traditional Spanish folk witch, then no, you're not a witch because you don't follow the dogma that Garrett Gardner made for his system. And you can see how that doesn't really work very well. It's not about... Witchcraft is not a word that one group alone can claim. It's a definition that actually not all people even agree with it. Some people, like, for example, I like the definition that witchcraft is nature-based magic. But I know a lot of ceremonial magicians call all low magic, aka practical magic, for witchcraft. So that any kind of magic that is based about... So the difference between high magic and low magic is that high magic is complex rituals, very often based around self-development and a spiritual pursuit. While witchcraft is... while witchcraft, generally speaking, are based around getting results in the physical world. It's about making your life easier. Now, of course, again, these terms do blend because there's a lot within, for example, Wicca, which is based around spiritual development. And there are some high magic rituals that are based around summoning up something to get you what you want. But you can... it's a bit difficult to put it into direct words for the definitions, but on the other hand, you can sort of get the feeling for it. Basically, ceremonial magic or high magic has a tendency to involve quite a bit of ritual, while witchcraft can be as simple as poking your bleeding tooth with a small sliver from a tree, placing it back in the tree in the belief that the tree will then heal your toothache, or taking salt and throwing it over your shoulder to ward off bad luck. Basically, very often these spells are very simple, very quick, because the people that invented them didn't have the time to spend hours upon hours upon hours in ritual. They needed something quick and easy, get it done. And to me, that is witchcraft. It's practical magic. But since there's so many different systems with practical magic today, I like to add the definition of its practical nature magic. But like I said, these definitions are rather flowing. Excuse me, I just need to calm my cat down. She's frightened of a sound. Mom? No, it's nothing to worry about, sweetheart. No, it's not anything to worry about. No? Want to come here? No, you want to hide. Poor baby, but it's not dangerous. Sorry about that. My cat doesn't like sounds she doesn't recognize. And my dryer just went ballistic out there, so you hear it. Dung, 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 dung. You might be able to hear it on the video. Anyway, back to the topic. However, I realized that my definition of witchcraft is just something that I work with. And there's a lot of different definitions of witchcraft, where I only have one. So, yeah. So I guess that's the problem, that when people put basically, no, I'm an authority and this is what witchcraft is, when it isn't correct, when you sort of then say, no, you person that has spent your entire life studying a system, for example, some form of traditional witchcraft, folk magic, you are not a witch because it's not based in religion. Or you are not a witch because it's not based on the threefold law. You don't believe that there will come some cosmic force and punish you. You need to believe that the gods will spank you for evil doing, or you're not a witch. And that pisses me off. Had Raymond Buckland said, well, you know what? In my definition, there is no difference between Wicca and witchcraft. It's one thing. And this is my definition of witchcraft. It's religious based and so on. I would have no problem with it. It would be his definition, and people can follow his definition or not. But when he sort of says, no, and then we all have to agree on what witchcraft is and exclude everybody that doesn't fit our definition, then I have a problem with it. Because it's not right. It's not right to those that are practicing witches that has nothing to do with Wicca, that's nothing to do with religion. And it is sort of bloody arrogant. And it sort of just lights more fire under that debate when we are trying to make people understand that there is actually a difference between the religious witchcraft that Garrett Gardner invented, that we usually then refer to as Wicca to differentiate it from other types of witchcraft, and generally speaking, just practicing nature-based magic. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. I will see if I can't find that interview again, because it's on YouTube, and just post it down in the description below so you can see it. It is a very interesting interview, and it gives a lot of background to this very prolific and great Wiccan author. So I do recommend it, and like I said, for the most part, I deeply respect Mr. Buckland, but in this case, I disagree with him. I do not see witchcraft as being just Wicca and Wiccanish. I think witchcraft is basically anything that somebody wants to define as witchcraft. It's a type of magic, nothing else. If it has religious connotations for you, then it has religious connotations for you. It doesn't have that for anyone. It doesn't make it any less valid. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Have a great day, and blessed be.